Welcome back, everybody. You got Will and Iman here from the Block Runner Metazone, Rovi, and Mscribe. And today we're going to be talking about our favorite Ordinals developer, Benny, the dev on TRAC.
And Benny we trust, dude.
Yeah, he's
Benny,
back, dude.
Benny, our Lord.
He never left, but he's back again.
He didn't leave, dude. He's been, I don't even know what to say. He's one of those classic devs, right? That doesn't seem like he sleeps much.
No, he definitely, dude. I'm sitting there texting him, and he responds every single time, like at the full range of my day, which I think he's like over the pond somewhere.
Over the pond?
Yeah.
Somewhere like in the Eurozone, I guess.
Yeah.
Is what you're, okay. Yeah. In case you didn't know, we're over here in the States, right?
Yeah.
We're the land of danger when it comes to Web3.
That's
you
right.
guys have much more embracement, I guess, from your government officials and such.
Correct.
So at least he doesn't have to worry about that. He could sleep soundly at night knowing, no big government organization is going to come kick down his door.
Yeah, we don't sleep as soundly.
We don't. It's literally, we can feel
So
the
the FBI is like...
We can feel the SEC breathing down our necks, dude, like 24/7.
Yeah, it's like your podcast is also secure.
Yeah, it's like you shouldn't be promoting any of this.
Yeah.
It's like, fuck. It's like we can't do no right here, right?
Yeah.
That's so. So yeah, and Benny, luckily for him, he doesn't have to deal with none of that. That's why he's able to crank out so much value.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So what are we talking about today?
What's the new value, dude?
So TRAC just released specs and indexing for TAP's new function called token auth. So it allows third parties to authorize sending tokens from the authority's wallet. This empowers games, metaverse, token bridges, cross-chain marketplaces, etc. on the TAP protocol.
Interesting.
So if we remember, TAP is a token much like BRC20, except that it's not.
Yeah. Well, part of it doesn't make it.
Well, remember in
BRC20.
BRC20s, it's deploy, it is transfer, and then it is send.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Yeah.
So there's only 3 functions with BRC20s.
Okay.
But we need more functionality with BRC20s, but that does not exist.
Yeah.
Hence, we got TAP.
Okay.
So if you look at TAP's GitHub here.
It's been like a nice little work in progress. This page gets bigger and bigger and bigger as the updates roll in. It's a nice little like archive of progress, which is the whole point, right?
Yeah. So BRC20, we have deploy, mint, and transfer. Those are the 3 functions,
and even limited to 4 letters. So.
That's right. You're limited to 4 letters. Yeah. TAP has 3, 5, all the way to 32.
Yeah. So much more flexibility there. Now you could just. If you wanted to do like a block runner token, literally.
Yeah, the block runner. It would make sense there.
You could do that. So that's already an evidence of more flexibility, right?
It's not coming soon, by the way.
It's not. Definitely not doing that.
All right, so now TAP has the counterpart, right? It has a deploy, has a mint, and has a transfer as well. But it also does many more things.
Right. Yeah, those are just like the functions that I guess existing
parity
indexers that are out there, they already know that rule set, right? In order to display tokens that fit in within that scheme. So you don't have to do much work to support a TAP token.
That's right. Exactly.
That's the whole purpose of that, right?
Yeah. So so what we're talking about today is the token auth. So why would anyone need a token authorization capability?
Yeah.
Right? So
question.
So we were coming up with possible scenarios. The most obvious one being bitmap. So in the bitmap world, you have these bunch of orange squares that represent your block, and these orange squares represent your transactions or your parcels of your district, right?
Correct. So
in the Ordinal standard, in order to inscribe a child, you have to be an owner of the parent. So in this case, the parent is a bitmap. Everyone owns these bitmaps. You can inscribe the children, which is the parcels, right? No problem there. The problem with that is that if you have a bitmap with 3,000 transactions, in order to sell those parcels, you have to inscribe all of them to your wallet
individually.
Yeah, no big deal, right? Except that that's roughly a $3,000 to $6,000 commitment
in today's like time frame.
Yeah,
in the future will be literally unfeasible.
10,000. Yeah.
Like the barrier to entry just to like kickstart any kind of like ecosystem or community onboarding process with your bitmap it won't exist.
Correct.
Under this existing like, scope of limitation.
Yeah, absolutely.
So this is big then.
Yeah. So now
we can feasibly see a future where you could do all these things, right?
Yeah. So we're just outlining the problem, right? And another problem is if you're a PFP project, you want to come up with your 6K or 10K, whatever it is, 100K project.
Whoa.
You would have to, you would have to inscribe all those Ks to your wallet.
That's right.
All those pictures to your wallet.
Wow, what a mess.
Right. Yeah. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So instead, with this new functionality, and which is something that we've been talking to Benny about, and he promptly executed on it. It was like, okay, so in order to do this, we can follow the Ordinal standard, but the way that we do that is you do this redeem inscription. This redeem inscription is basically a set of rules that indicate to the indexer, to all indexers, that whoever owns this redeem is sort of like has the authority to inscribe the children of the parent.
Yeah, it's like a grant inscription.
Like
you've been granted that
authority,
that access to kind of like leverage this core asset, this parent asset, whatever.
Yeah.
Now you could produce children assets
right.
from it, right? On the behalf of the actual owner of that parent asset.
So what does this enable? This enables the action of coming up with this redeem functionality, sending it to an authority, let's say Mscribe.
Mscribe, yeah.
Right? You send it to Mscribe. Now Mscribe has the authority to inscribe the children that represent your bitmap. So why would you want to do this?
Yeah.
So through Mscribe, what you could do is you could sell your parcels either free mint or you set a price or whatever. And then on Mscribe, with that authority, you can set those prices on Mscribe. And then somebody can come in, like Iman or Chris or anybody, whoever who wants to buy your parcel, they go to Mscribe, they purchase that parcel. They either pay the free mint cost or whatever price that you set. And because Mscribe has the authority, it inscribes that parcel and sends it to the purchaser.
Correct.
And so now the bitmap owner, who will be getting a cut of the transactions, they don't have to inscribe every single parcel in order to give it out or sell it.
Correct. To distribute. A land distribution event, which is something that we're aggressively like working towards, because obviously that is like the purpose of the standard. I mean, that's the origin purpose to the bitmap standard, right? It's
correct.
Like we all have, we've unburdened ourselves as far as like how to generate like a virtual environment and like the layout of ownership within that.
Correct.
That's the purpose bitmaps serve, right? So now we need the right mechanism to distribute ownership.
That's right.
in an efficient way that makes sense to where, the actual owners of these virtual environments aren't burdened by these types of costs, right?
Yeah, and ultimately the parcels are still children of the original tree, right? You form a tree. You have the bitmap, you have the redeem inscription. The redeem inscriptions has all these children.
Okay.
And so there's still, the source came from bitmap, or the original parent inscription.
Correct.
And you don't have to pay any of the inscription fees. And you still follow the standard, right? Everything's good.
Yeah.
So that's the purpose of the authority functionality here. So without this, what you would have to do is that you would have to send, if you didn't want to spend the $3,000 to $6,000 of inscriptions, you'd have to send the parent inscription to someone that you would trust. Right?
Right.
And suppose we're not supposed to trust anybody.
So we're talking about Mscribe here, like literally.
Yeah.
They would have to give it to us, right?
They would have to give it to us, correct?
The actual bitmap.
Yeah.
Like, here's like, okay, you want to use this function to divvy up your parcels. Well, first, here's our address.
Yeah,
send it here and trust us, dude. Like, we won't do anything wrong with it, right?
That's right.
So that's called what? Custodianship?
Custodial, yeah.
Yeah, that introduces a whole slew of like potential problems, right?
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to do that. We don't want to do that.
We don't want to do that. Yeah, we want these protocols to operate like autonomously, I guess.
Right.
Like, and we just set them out there and let the users do what they do with these protocols, right? So Benny has provided, I guess, like the infrastructure for that, for platform builders like ourselves to leverage.
That's right.
And to build like that user experience on the front end.
Yeah.
Right. So that we could service this whole ecosystem. That's kind of the whole point.
Yeah. And so this isn't an exclusively bitmap problem, right? We talked about how a 10K PFP project would have to inscribe all of them to themselves. Now with this, you can use a platform service, send them that redeem the authority inscription, they can inscribe all those picture projects on your behalf, and it still follows the ordinal standard. So this applies across the board. So Benny is like servicing a huge part of the market here.
Yeah, I think like basically it's the fundamental end of the market to where now we can have a real creator economy, I guess.
100%.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
Because it can be packaged and leveraged in so many different ways. And this is what the whole, I guess, like build on Bitcoin movement space is. We're in definitely like a limbo because we've already identified like multiple attempts out there. We got Trustless Computer
Right.
with their own architecture and framework of how, we could bring more functionality that even though it's not happening on the layer 1 side of Bitcoin, eventually all those second layer activities end up on layer 1.
Yeah, through rollups.
Correct. And then we got the things that are being proposed by Domo and friends, stacks, and they want to leverage that second layer environment to, produce all that functionality that eventually gets rolled up and sent back to Bitcoin as well.
Yes.
And now we got this, which is pretty much all L1.
This is all L1, all ordinals.
Yeah. Still
following the standard.
Correct.
And you don't have to trust anybody.
Yeah. Yeah, it would seem like if you're really like a hardcore ordinals bro, and you're all aligned with the ethos of like everything has to stay, embedded into like the Bitcoin canvas.
Yeah,
and like let's not rely on tertiary like trusted environments, right?
Yeah,
in order to process these types of functions. So yeah, it seems like this should get a lot more support than what it is, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. And this is not to say that we still have to trust indexers.
That's true.
Right?
That's a good point. Yeah.
So there is one component that still needs to be figured out from like a trustless component. Mm-hmm. But nonetheless, I mean, the fact that we have a method to create that mania, I mean, that's a very critical piece to like enabling this thing.
Yeah, and I think these these identified, I guess, emerging silos within the Bitcoin ecosystem, like they're not. It's. I'm sure one over the other is going to get more industry support, right? It's starting to look like the Domo crew is in the BRC20 standard.
Yeah.
However limited it is now, we're gonna like add all these different complexities and support from these indexing networks and stuff to, to make it more robust. Like that will. Seems to be like it's the winning horse at the moment because there's a lot of push.
Yeah.
Right. But nonetheless, I think this ecosystem of Bitcoin is just going to grow so massive in the coming bull run that I don't think any of these other like subset of
boats.
Boats. They're not going to just like topple over or anything.
No, they're not.
Yeah. It feels like it's a sea rising event.
Agreed.
Right? And I think all of them will have like, interesting developers working within them, like silos. They attract tribalistic behaviors.
Think about this too from like the profile of a project. Imagine bitmaps being exclusively like all on Bitcoin layer 1 stuff.
Yeah,
and it's not relying on smart contracts, on stacks or trustless computer EVMs or anything like that.
Yeah,
I think that would be an interesting sort of profile for a metaverse. Right, because we're just seeing that Life Beyond is going to be using the whole stacks and that whole thing, that friend thing that you were saying.
You mean like Domo's BRC20?
Yeah,
I don't know if they've
I don't think they've outlined it, but that's what it seems like. Yeah,
it feels, because that's what I mean by industry. Because obviously all the notable Ordinal influencers all of a sudden are interested in the metaverse space.
Yeah.
Even though when Bitmap came around, when Bitmap came around, they were the biggest faders, and we don't accept this as like part of the Ordinal ecosystem for whatever reason.
Yeah,
like at all. It's like, this is a waste of time. You guys shouldn't be doing this.
Yeah,
you should be focusing on JPEGs like the rest of us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That was the sentiment that came from what I label as the industry of Ordinals, right?
Right.
And now all of a sudden, Animoca comes in and promotes, this flashy game, a game.
Yeah.
And they're saying they're going to tokenize this on Bitcoin and using Ordinal technology, right? And so that leads me to believe.
And they claim to be the first Bitcoin metaverse.
Right.
Right.
So it leads me to believe they're waiting for, the architecture rollout that Domo and the BRC20, and friends are working on, right? So once it's deployed, then they're going to come in and launch that token for sure.
Right.
That's my prediction, right?
Yeah. Yeah, because you need functionality, right? That functionality is going to come from the smart contracts on stacks.
Correct. Or, if they are building a GameFi, it's a game like it's probably like pretty close to launch, and they want a game economy with GameFi elements.
Mm-hmm.
Why not use this?
Yeah.
This is gonna probably be more in a more usable state, more quickly, I guess, than what's gonna roll out from again the Domo crew. So, but they won't, right? Because it's gonna be it's a question of industry adoption, which I don't know. I feel like TRAC is gonna have a difficult time getting.
I feel like there's a very blurry line that's like forming, right? It's becoming less and less blurry.
Yeah.
And there's going to be a division between like different profiles of projects. Yeah. It's like some are exclusively on Bitcoin, some are using flavors of different smart contract platforms, BVMs, EVMs.
Yeah.
And then other flavors are like kind of like on Bitcoin, trustless computer.
Yeah.
But not really, because they're using different kinds of technologies outside of Bitcoin.
Correct. And then at some point, like Lightning Labs and Taproot assets are going to show up
100%
at some point.
Yeah.
And, some developers are going to leverage that, right? So, I was expecting like over time, these evenally everything was going to kind of like condense into like one super powerful
it's getting
thing.
Worse, dude.
Yeah, I think it is. I think it's more
stratifying.
Yeah, that tends to happen, right?
It does.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. But you know what? It's all about, you're a developer, you're creating a metaverse on Bitcoin such as bitmap. And you're like, what do I need? It's like I need the ability to sell my parcels. I was like, well, here we are with TRAC. Yeah. Or I can just take my whole ecosystem onto stacks and do it that way.
Yeah.
Right? So it just depends on like what you need and what ethos, what profile you're trying to kind of create here.
And this is perfectly normal and expected because we saw this happen on Ethereum. Like, a stratification did happen as far as like what's the best way to scale this thing.
Yeah.
Right. And now there's like hundreds of layer 2s out there.
That's right.
All saying, all competing in the same, I guess, like problem space.
Yeah. We went to the ETH Denver conference and hundreds of layer 2s out there. Yeah. That was like the layer 2 conference.
It really was, dude. Circa 2023.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was the layer 2 conference for sure.
Yeah.
So we're starting to see that happen organically within like the Ordinals space, and it's needed. And then we got the whole what was the thing that Casey was talking about? Drive chains.
Yeah, drive chains.
So there's just so much, but obviously this is going to be a burning issue coming up. We all see it coming. So it's happening before our eyes, dude.
Okay, we got a tweet here. TAP protocol continues to impress, this time with the release of their token Auth system. So it kind of breaks down the authority. There was a tweet by Matty. Remember that? He explained Mattyverse. He explains how to like use the authority system that from TRAC, right?
Right there?
Yeah, here it is. I created a full 100% step-by-step walkthrough of TRAC's new token auth function to get the GIB token. So this GIB or GIB token is not it's a real token, but it's a token to showcase the technology.
Yeah, but I think it's already like fully inscribed.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah. So unfortunately, this video,
freaking degens, dude.
Yeah, I guess a lot of people saw speculative entertainment value in this specific token, TAP token, right?
Yeah,
because it's like a proof of concept of something, a big milestone achievement for the whole ecosystem. So yeah, it's probably still worth like watching the video just to kind of like understand the process, because more of these tokens will come into existence.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's some kind of like hesitation. There's like another token, huh? And so I basically explain it's just to show off the additional functionality, and then TRAC comes in here with like, yep, that's what we're doing.
Yeah, so that's good. All right, man. So having said all that, this obviously the TAP and TRAC ecosystem continues to flourish and evolve and expand and grow.
Yeah.
Capturing more and more developer attention, even from ourselves. Like, damn, dude, maybe this is the way.
Might be the way, yeah.
It seems to be like the most viable technical like solution to today's problems.
Yeah.
If you're gonna still like align with like 100% with the ethos of the building on for Bitcoin movement, which is as making it as trustless as possible. Well, yeah. as close to Bitcoin as possible. Right?
Yeah, and I feel like if you can, as a project, you should be as close to Bitcoin as possible.
Yeah. Well, because we're already like kind of predicting the whole digital artifact narrative is going to be one of the biggest, I think, driving components to regained interest in this space, right? It's like, the blockchain has become that much more utilized than ever before, right?
Yeah, absolutely. We have a tweet here by SMB. Just another tweet talking about the authority. This also makes TAP a zero-knowledge protocol, as TAP does not know the details of the third party's custom rules.
Interesting.
So this is huge for innovation, gamification, metaverse on Bitcoin. Let's see who can use this tech.
Yeah.
So we're definitely looking into using this tech. I mean, we were sort of the instigators, kind of like encouraging Benny to come up with a solution, and there he has. So
in Benny we trust, dude.
Yeah, man.
In Benny we trust.
Lord Benny.
That's right. And we're starting to see this zero knowledge is creeping into like the conversation on Ordinals a lot more than it used to. But
I feel like it's a buzzword that's not being leveraged properly.
I don't know, dude.
Zero knowledge is a very mathematical thing. It's not just a zero knowledge thing. It's like not knowing knowledge. It's a mathematical application.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, I guess you're the ZK police, dude. That's fine, dude. It's fine. It's fine. As long as you truly understand like what ZK is, and you can police it all day, dude. I agree. We commit many sins in this Web3 space, and that's definitely one of the major ones. Is like taking over like buzzwords and applying them completely like metaverse,
like AI,
like everything.
Yeah,
it's just slap a buzz on anything. Is like, see, it's like we're fucking great, dude. We did it.
Yeah,
you know? It's just that's just marketing, though.
That's true.
That's what happens.
Yeah.
And one last thing to look at is again, TRAC token has been in circulation for a long time.
That's right.
And this has been one of the more fundamentally valuable BRC20 tokens that we've been
it's been like top
about.
10 for a while.
Yeah, because it's along there up there with like actual projects and teams behind the token building something of value, kind of like Oshi. Yeah, so it's like it's definitely one we've said a long time ago. You got to keep them on your radar.
Yeah,
to see the development progress, and you can capture the value along the way.
Yeah, and for the last 30 days, TRAC has been kind of on the downswing.
Sure. Talk about entertainment value, dude.
Yeah,
entertaining.
This is very entertaining. This is where you get on the entertainment ride, I suppose.
I would think so.
Yeah.
So just something to keep in mind,
Yeah. So of course you can get the tokens on Uniset and all that. I'm sure there's plenty of like explanation videos on how to do that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's it for us. We really like what Benny's doing with the token auth. It's going to be useful for us. And there's a lot of reasons to use TAP outside of like bitmap, right? With some DMT, NAT stuff. So
yeah, we're going to do some future exploring there as well.
Yeah.
So very exciting stuff. It's good to see this ecosystem mature and evolve. And these very critical actors and players are setting the right infrastructure in place so that the rest of us can kind of like, adopt and also
build on top of.
Correct. Yeah. So this ecosystem is playing out exactly how we wanted it to.
Yeah.
Thank God, dude. Thank God.
Thank Lord Benny.
Thank Benny, dude. Without Benny, we'd all be fucked. Yeah.
All right, guys. Let us know if you found something that we need to talk about in the comment section below. We try to respond to everything that we see there.
Mm-hmm.
And make sure you follow us on Twitter. All the links will be in the description, of course. And we will catch you in the next video.
Peace.